Fear has stopped more dreams than failure ever could. Not because people weren't talented, not because they weren't ready, but because they let fear whisper louder than their own potential. The difference between ordinary people and the successful ones isn't that they don't feel fear. It's that they face it. They move anyway. They transform fear into momentum. And what if I told you this? Fear is not your enemy. Fear can be your greatest teacher, your most reliable compass, a sign you are walking toward something that matters. Now pause for a moment, think about it. Everyone feels fear. Even the people you admire most, the leaders, the innovators, the creators who seem unshakable, they feel it too. But here's the secret. They don't wait for fear to disappear. They learn to dance with it. They learn to name it, break it apart, transform it into fuel, and act before doubt takes over. So in this journey, we will walk through exactly what successful people do, and by the end, you'll realize fear doesn't have to cage you. It can be the very thing that sets you free. Step 1. Name the fear. The first thing successful people do when fear strikes is simple, yet powerful. They name it. Sounds too easy, right? But here's the truth. Most of us never actually stop to call our fear by its name. We just let it swirl inside us, heavy and unspoken. Like a shadow we refuse to look at. But when you name your fear, you strip it of its power. You take it out of the dark corners of your mind and place it under the light. Psychologists call this labeling emotions. When you say, "I'm afraid of failing this presentation," or "I'm scared of rejection if I put myself out there," suddenly the fear is no longer a giant, faceless monster. It's specific. It's clear. It's something you can work with. Think about it. Fear without a name is just chaos. But fear with a name, it becomes a challenge, a puzzle, something you can break down. Successful people know this. That's why they pause, breathe, and speak their fear out loud. It's not weakness, it's wisdom. Because once you name it, you begin to tame it. So the next time fear grabs you by the throat, don't push it away. Don't pretend you're fearless. Instead, ask yourself, what exactly am I afraid of right now? Put it into words, write it down, say it clearly, because naming your fear is the first step to owning your courage. Step 2, break it into small steps. Fear often feels enormous, like a wall too high to climb, like a storm too strong to face. Why? Because we see the whole challenge at once, the big picture, the end goal, and our brain screams impossible. But successful people think differently. They don't fight the whole mountain in one day. They carve it into small, simple steps. Think about public speaking. If you picture yourself standing in front of 500 people, lights in your face, all eyes on you, waiting for every word, of course. Your stomach tightens, your palms sweat, your voice shakes. But what if you shrink the task? First, write just an outline, then practice one paragraph out loud, next, rehearsed in front of one trusted friend, and then a small group, step by step. You're no longer facing a storm, you're learning to dance in the rain. That's how fear loses its grip, not in one heroic leap, but in many small, steady steps forward. Entrepreneurs do this. They don't launch an empire overnight. They test an idea. They build a prototype. They make one call, then another, until momentum builds. And fear has no room left to breathe. Breaking fear into steps doesn't make you weaker, it makes you smarter. It gives your brain proof. I can do this part, and if I can do this part, I can do the next. So remember this habit when fear strikes. Shrink the mountain, one step, one action. One small victory at a time, because the wall of fear, it isn't meant to stop you. It's meant to be climbed, and every step makes you stronger. Step 3. Reframe fear as fuel. Fear has a bad reputation. We treat it like an enemy. We try to run from it, hide from it, or numb it away. But here's the truth. Fear is energy, and energy is neutral. What matters is how you use it. Think about it. The same rush that makes your heart pound before a big presentation is the same rush an athlete feels before breaking a world record. The body doesn't say, "This is fear," it just says, "This is power." Successful people understand this. They don't label fear as weakness. They flip it. They turn the racing heart into readiness. They turn the trembling hands into focus. They turn the butterflies into fuel. It's all about interpretation. Instead of saying, "I'm nervous," say, "I'm excited," instead. Of "this fear will ruin me," say, "This energy will drive me." Because when you reframe fear, you don't fight against yourself. You partner with your own biology. You let adrenaline sharpen your focus, speed up your reflexes, and heighten your awareness. Think of fear like fire, left unattended. It burns everything down, but harnessed it warms. It lights, it cooks, it creates. That's why many high performers thrive under pressure. They've learned the art of transformation. The boardroom, the stage. The competition, those are their furnaces, and fear, it's the spark that ignites their best self. So the next time your chest tightens, don't curse the feeling, breathe it in, smile at it. Say to yourself, "This is not fear, this is fuel, and I choose to burn it into power." Step 4. Visualize victory. Every great achievement begins in the mind. Before a runner crosses the finish line, they've already run it thousands of times in their imagination. This is not fantasy, it's preparation. Because your brain doesn't fully distinguish between what's vividly imagined and what's lived in reality. When fear strikes, successful people close their eyes and see victory. They don't rehearse failure, they don't picture embarrassment. They paint the image of success so clearly, so vividly, that the mind starts believing this is inevitable. Picture the moment. See yourself walking into the room with calm confidence. Feel the firm handshake. Hear your own steady voice delivering the words you've practiced. Imagine the nods of approval, the smiles, the applause. Visualization builds familiarity, and familiarity kills fear. Because what once felt uncertain feels like déjà vu. You've been here before in your mind, and that makes the body follow with trust. Top athletes know this secret before the game. They don't just practice the moves, they visualize making the winning shot. Public speakers see themselves owning the stage. Entrepreneurs picture their product changing lives. Fear feeds on the unknown, but when you visualize, you shrink the unknown. You step into the future before it happens, and by the time reality arrives, it feels natural. So, whenever fear tries to hijack your thoughts, don't replay disaster, rehearse triumph. Build the movie of your success so real, so detailed that fear has no script left to write. Because when you see yourself win, your actions will rise to meet that vision. Step 5. Take action quickly before doubt grows. Fear has a strange habit. If you give it time, it multiplies. The longer you wait, the louder it becomes. That's why successful people move fast. They don't give doubt room to breathe. They don't negotiate endlessly with their own hesitation. They take action before the voice of fear has a chance to dominate the conversation. Think about it. How many times have you delayed a decision? And in that delay, your courage weakened. What felt possible in the moments only looked impossible after too much thinking. Action is the antidote. It doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to be grand. It just needs to be now. Send the email, make the call, walk into the room, take the first step. Because once you're moving, momentum takes over. And momentum silences fear better than any pep talk. Successful people know this. Courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes, courage is a single action taken quickly. A step forward before the mind drags you backward. This is how fear loses, not by erasing it, but by outrunning it. You don't wait for confidence to appear, you create it through motion. Remember, hesitation is a breeding ground for doubt, but swift action, it plants seeds of belief, and the more you act, the more your confidence grows. So the next time fear strikes, don't pause too long. Don't rehearse all the reasons why you might fail. Instead, move, even if it's small, even if it's imperfect, because movement is power, and power leaves fear with no place to stand. Fear is not the enemy. It's the signal. It's the doorway. It's the reminder that you are standing on the edge of growth. Every successful person has felt it. Every leader you admire. Every innovator who changed the world. Every dreamer who turned visions into reality. They all met fear on their path. But here's the difference. They didn't let fear freeze them. They learned how to move with it, to bend it, to transform it into fuel. And now, so can you. You've learned the steps. Name the fear. Break it into small steps. Reframe it as fuel. Visualize victory. Take action quickly before doubt grows. These are not just strategies. They are lifelines. They are the habits of people who choose courage over comfort, who decide that fear is not a wall but a doorway. So the next time fear shows up, don't see it as the end. See it as the beginning of growth, the beginning of strength, the beginning of a version of you that fear cannot hold back. You are capable. You are stronger than you think. And when fear strikes, you will no longer retreat. You will rise, you will move, and you will discover what successful people already know, that on the other side of fear, there is freedom, there is power, there is life. So take a breath, take a step, and step boldly into the future that's waiting for you. Because your fear doesn't get the final word, you do. Thank you for spending this moment with Awaken Light Audio. If something today touched your heart or opened your mind, don't keep it to yourself. Share your thoughts in the comments. What spoke to you most? Tell us about your journey, your questions, your breakthroughs, and let us know what you'd love to hear next. Subscribe to stay connected. And if this message could uplift someone you care about, send it their way, because light grows when it's shared. Until next time, stay present, stay awakened, and keep becoming who you're meant to be.